Welcome to Music Monday on Devon Live Chat, and it's always great. Actually, I do like a Music Monday, especially when I get to speak to local people performing local music. And this week it's Jack Lewis. Hi, Jack.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Tell us. Let's start from the very, very beginning. When did you get involved in music? How old were you?
Well, I was quite young when I was really interested in music, but when I first picked up a guitar and started to really learn it, I was about maybe 19. I know it's quite old, but that's when I thought, I'm really gonna go for it. I thought I can't just not try, so I really threw myself into it when I was about 19.
So, at the age of 19, who were your influences that made you decide that music could be the thing for you?
My influences, well, there was Ed Sheeran, which is a funny one because everyone kind of references me as the budgeted Sheeran whenever I play, and there was Shawn Mendes as well, because he'd only just kind of started out when I began learning the guitar, and he kind of inspired me really more to the fact that he taught himself to play the guitar, and he inspired me to kind of do the same, in that it was possible to learn the instrument without having to really in depth know everything, and like without having to really feel stressed about it and not being able to be good enough or anything about that really. So he kind of inspired me to pick it up and just go for it really.
So out of all the music that you perform, what's the ratio between your own compositions and cover versions?
Well, it used to be off and off. I used to love playing original songs, but as the sets got longer and I started going out more and doing live shows, I decided to add more covers into it. More covers in, I guess, the songs that I liked and I knew other people would like, but I'd break them down into a style of me really. I'd play them or interpret them into a style of me, and I'd throw in originals here and there. So I'd say there are still a good amount of originals, but it's mainly covers in the set now. But I try and add as many originals as I can into it.
How have you been finding with the lockdown and everything else? Because I've noticed that you've been performing at Cedars in Barnstable. One, how did you cope during the lockdown? And the second one, how was it a relief when you actually got back to playing again?
Well, I can't pretend that lockdown was easy. When I found out we went into lockdown, it was difficult because I had a few shows that were previously booked, and obviously I had to rearrange and contact the people I needed to contact. But it gave me time to sit down and get back to what I really love doing. I mean, I love performing live, don't get me wrong, but I was doing it so frequently, I didn't have time to sit down and start writing. But during lockdown, I think it gave me time to really put my heart and soul into writing more originals. And that's where I came up with my song Country Moma, where I wrote it during lockdown, and I had time to look at how I wanted to create it and how I wanted to sound it without the pressure of I needed to rehearse for this, or I need to add covers to this. But when lockdown was over, it was such a relief because I've been so desperate to get back out and live performing. It was just such a relief when I had that first show at the Cedars. I was just so excited, and I've just really been looking forward to live performing.
Absolutely. Now, if anybody wants to ask Jack any questions, all you would do is leave a comment on our page or on the pages that we stream to, and that would be absolutely brilliant. So that's all we got to do. So you were just talking about a particular piece of music that you've been working on. What was it called again?
Country Moma.
Country Moma. And it's funny actually because you've got an actual official music video of this as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
How did it come about? Tell us about the song first.
Well, the song, I'd been writing it for a while. The chorus is the first thing that came along, really, and I was sat down for ages just trying to figure out how I wanted it to sound and how I wanted to write it and what I wanted it to be about. But I knew that for the future EP, I wanted it to be about childhood memories, and this song it kind of just grew into this childhood love that I had. And when I sat down and I plugged my guitar into my computer, I was just playing around with a few notes, and then I was just playing this pattern for quite a while, and I started singing along the chorus to it, and I don't know, it was such a weird feeling, as if I just kind of fell back into being a kid again, running through fields with that person. And it was really weird feeling, but it was a good feeling. And from there, the song just grew, and I was recording it, and I had such a fun time recording it, and such a fun time playing the guitar to it, and I really, really did enjoy making that song.
Whereabouts did you actually record this? Because is this like you got your own studio, or did you go to a professional studio to get it together? Because it does say the music video. Must find out how that went about as well. But where did you record this?
I recorded it at home with just my computer, and a guitar lead and a mic, and just edited everything at home with some software. And it took a while, and I can't pretend that editing is very fun. Listening to particular bits of the songs over and over again, trying to get the level right and make sure it's all perfect. But I'm really happy with how it turned out in the end, though.
So for anybody who is a possible recording artist, and they can't go through the expense of going to a professional recording studio, it's not the easiest thing in the world. Did you actually have any training, or is this something that you've just picked up as you went along?
It's something I picked up as I went along. I know it seems quite daunting to start at first, but when you actually just go into it, I mean, there's tons of different editing software out there, but personally, I've never needed the expensive stuff. I've always used free things, and just the cheapest stuff I could get my hands on, like regards to leads and mics. And I've never spent out a fortune on recording equipment or anything like that, because I don't think that you need to spend a fortune on it. I mean, I taught myself the editing, and it looks more complicated than it really is, and they have a step by step of how to use some of it, but majority of it you don't really need to use, because majority of it is for like other instruments and everything like that, which you like which you might not even need. So majority of people might only just use a guitar or a keyboard, so you'd only use about 10% of the editing software. So it looks more complicated than what it is, and once you figure out one bit of it, it just kind of all falls into place, and it's quite easy to use.
So using the basic, no add-ons, no plugins. But what I would say, and you probably might agree with me, whatever it was you had as the original, copy it and then use the copy to experiment with. I would imagine that would be a total nightmare for you or anybody else that you started editing and you actually edited the wrong bit and you lost most of what you did. Have you actually fallen in that trap?
I have, yeah. You just brought back a very stressful memory there. Yeah, when I was recording a song for my first EP, I was editing the original file, and I was being experimental with it, as you said, and I adjusted something on it. I can't remember what I adjusted on it, but I couldn't undo it, and it sounded awful. I had to re-record the whole thing. I was so irritated that day. It took me ages.
So I would say that some advice from somebody who's been there and done that, namely yourself, always record it and have a master. And when you start to change things around, use it with the copy. Make sure you've always got that original, because that must have been heartbreaking, frustrating. I'm trying to think what other words I could use actually, which are broadcastable. But I've done a lot of editing and things like that, and I also learned the hard way. So if you are in the music industry, and that would go for your videos as well, because we're going to play your piece in a moment. Did you actually edit the video?
I did, yeah. So it took me a while because obviously we were in lockdown, so I couldn't actually go out and record it myself, which I did want to do. So I had just these stock videos, but I only had a limited amount. So I literally had to cut up about 1 minute worth. So all I had was literally a minute worth of stock videos, and so I had to cut it up like into seconds or something, and I had to cut and paste it, but I had to make it random so it didn't show the same part of the video each time. And so yeah, I had to make it random, then I had to speed up little bits and then slow down to extend it, and it took a long time to do. But it turned out really good. But it was stressful trying to get things in the right position. It was stressful trying to make sure that it was random and that it didn't play too much of the same thing in the same part of the song. And I wanted it to, whenever a particular lyric was there, I wanted the video to match the lyric. So it took a long time. It took about 2.5 weeks or so to properly edit that video.
What's the duration? How long is it?
I think it's just over 6 minutes. It's quite a long one, but whenever I've watched it, it never feels long. It always I don't know. It always feels like you're watching a story unfold, and you just kind of feel like you zone into it, and you just feel like you're going along with it, really, and it's just quite a nice feeling.
That is the thing, isn't it, about music? You know, if there is a story to be told, and somebody like yourself can actually put those words into lyrics plus the music, that's really where it's all at, isn't it? To unfold this story, and when you can put a video with it as well, that is absolutely amazing. But what I'm actually going to do for you right now is ask you to introduce the song. You said it's about 6 minutes long. So I don't know what we're going to do for 6 minutes, but I'm sure that we're all going to enjoy it. So introduce your piece of music.
So this is my song Country Moma with the official music video. Thank you.
I can still recall the purple dress she wore. She came crashing through the guardrail in the twilight. And I knew no other guy would love her more. I promised her I'd stay forever. She said to me our love would never die. But who'd have thought she'd run off with my best friend? You think at least she'd say goodbye. Oh, country mama, oh, what have you done to me? We've been in love since the age of 15. And I want nothing more if you were to marry me. Under the tree where I walked, hold your memory. I knew I'd fall for someone like her. I knew that she'd break my heart before I got to know her. Oh, country mom, oh, look what you've done to me. We've been in love since the age of 15. And I want nothing more if you were to marry me. Under the tree where we walked, hold your memory. Tree where we walked, hold your memory. Tree where we walked, hold your memory. Country mama, look what you've done to me. We've been in love since the 68 or 50. And I would not know to marry me under the tree where was holds your memory. Under the tree where was holds your under the tree where holds your
I tell you what, good job. You've done a really good job on that, Jake. And how does it feel when you become the audience watching yourself?
It's a really weird feeling. You don't know what to do with yourself, really.
Yeah, I can think. Now, if anybody's interested in that and wants to have a copy or want to watch it, it's on YouTube. In fact, I think he's been working quite hard in the background here, actually. If you would like to listen to this amazing song again, it's the YouTube link, and it's there on the screen, which we'll leave on our page a little bit later on for you as well. And how many other pieces of music have you got on YouTube at the moment?
Quite a lot on YouTube, actually. There's a lot of live performances. There's a lot of live original pieces, and there's some original recordings. So actual songs that I've released on EPs, but actually I've put on my YouTube before they've been released. So quite a lot.
So are you working with an independent label, or you got your own label? How does anybody obtain your work?
So I've released my EPs myself independently, so you can find my past EPs on Google. You can literally just type in Jack Lewis, and you'll find me on Google as a musician or as an artist, and you'll find links to all my music on there and to buy my EPs and everything. And I'm actually offering for my song Country Moma, because I am working on a new EP at the moment, and Country Moma is going to be on that new EP. So it's the first song I've released, and I am offering those who join my mailing list and a free download of Country Moma, which the mailing list link is on my Facebook page.
There you go. That's a deal and a half. Wow, that's pretty good. I noticed actually that where you were saying how long it took to put that video together, and of course all those people who took part, that they're on free, that there are certain royalty-free things that you can use. So reality is you didn't know anybody who was acting in your video.
No, unfortunately not. And I mean, if lockdown hadn't have happened, then I would have recorded the video myself, and it would have been something quite similar to how it turned out, except there would have been familiar faces, and I don't know, there would have been like a personal touch to it, but I wanted to have something out there to match the song quite quickly, because I know the song is quite long, but I felt like it was meant to have a video with it, that you could fall into, and so I wanted to get something made as quickly as I could. And so I found a stock video site where I literally only had like a minute worth, and I had to chop it up and edit it like that. But yeah, the sad reality is I didn't know anyone in the video.
I think you succeeded big time actually with that. Now, I was sort of like looking to see where you came from. You're very much settled here in the West Country, but that's not where you actually were born, is it?
No, I was born in Bridgend in Wales, but I moved down here with my parents when I was quite young, so we could have a fresh start down in the southwest, this part of the southwest. Yeah.
So for those people who know you, which school did you go to?
I went to quite a few different primary schools, but the secondary school that I went to was South Molton School, and they all, everyone will know me from South Molton Community College. Yeah,
which is a nice sort of background and footing that they probably all go, oh, did you know Jack's making music now? Shall we go along and see him? Do you ever find any of your old school friends actually turning up at some of your shows and going, hey Jack, remember me? Do you ever get that?
I have a few times actually. Yeah, I've gone to a few shows where I've actually gone back down to nearer the school, and a few people have come into the show and they've like, oh, do you remember us? We saw you were doing a show and we thought we come in and see you. I was like, I remember you. Yeah. And yeah, it's been really weird. It's funny because like some people I'd never really spoken to in school, but then suddenly I'd see them at a show and then we get chatting and everything. It's such a strange feeling, but yeah, I see quite a few familiar faces down when I'm doing shows down that part, which is it's quite funny seeing them, because I haven't seen them in such a while, so they've changed so much. I mean, I probably have as well.
So, talking about shows, and with the lockdown, the ease in which I think was on Saturday just gone, that live performances can now take place, but there are a lot of restrictions still. You're doing a lot of garden type parties and things like that. We mentioned Cedars. Where else has actually opened the door for you to come and play?
Well, I've been doing a lot of online performances. So there's one that on the 29th where I entered with a pre-recorded live video where people could vote for me to go through to a live final. I think that would be like indoor, but with restrictions, obviously. I've also had a few weddings booked this year, which has been pretty good, where I've had, since lockdown's eased, I've had quite a few people contact me for different event types, but mainly weddings, because I think that they're easing the amount of people that can now go to different venues, and because the weather's been pretty good, that I think people are wanting to try and get trying to get weddings around this kind of time. So I'm getting a lot of messages for that and a lot of requests. So there's been a lot of that, and there's been a lot of talks about going into doing more live performances around where I am at the moment in Exeter. Some down in North Devon as well, and I was talking to a friend of mine who was discussing about Cornwall as well. There's a couple of places down there that we're in talks with at the moment, but we are trying to discuss about how it's going to work and lay out, because the venue is a bit small. We are trying to figure out the restrictions. It's kind of a bit difficult at the moment with all the guidelines, and we just want to make sure we're adhering to everything at the moment.
The thing is, it's so easy to get carried away thinking, oh, there's going to be a whole tsunami of stuff coming along. But with the restrictions and people are being very, very careful about what they're doing. Have you ever thought about doing something like, we were talking to Ben from the Palladium at Bideford, and they're running these events at the Big Sheep. And there's some sort of big names and local names all there. Had you thought about doing one of those weekends?
I hadn't heard of that, but I'd be very interested in that. Yeah, I would be very interested in that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, what we'll do, we'll give you Ben's details, but if you have a look through the page, he's had some local people. He's got some big people going as well. Gareth Gates is on. I think this coming Saturday, E17 is on. They've had Beans on Toast, Sam Dowden. A lot of mix and match between what's going on, and I'm sure that they'd welcome you with open arms, and I'm sure that the audience will love you as well. I did actually, when I was looking through some of your videos, that there was one there where you went to Exmouth Radio and you had an interview, and it sounded very, very good. And if anybody wants to check on that one, that would be pretty good. But there was a bit there which was touching on mental health. Tell us a little bit about that. How is your mental health as far as the lockdown? Because some people who haven't been struggling at all, suddenly going into lockdown, it starts to tell. It starts to fray at the edges. Then you've got to try and get yourself back together again. With you, I presume it's the music which has been something which kept you on track.
Yeah, the music has definitely been a massive help, and I mean, if I didn't have the music, I think I'd be a lot worse than what I am at the moment. I mean, I can't pretend that my mental health is great. I mean, there are a lot of different factors in it, but during lockdown was a difficult time for me. I was struggling, being in the house 24/7, and not being able to interact and not being able to get away from my thoughts and my insecurities. It was a difficult time, but being able to pick up the guitar and just kind of lose yourself in that. I mean, there was no judgment, if I made a mistake. There was no pressure or anything like that. So it was just nice to just sit back and just fall into the world of music. And it's everyone listens to music, and I think that it's one of those things that people don't realize. It's such a massive thing that's so helpful for many people. You put your headphones in and you just fall into whatever you're listening to, and it just takes you away from whatever's happening outside. It blocks off the sound from outside, and you're just listening to that one song that can start your day and change your mood. And I think that's really important. It's really important, music, and it's really important to have music in your life. And it's just, whether you play an instrument or whether you just listen to it, it's just important to have that particular thing in your life, just to take you away from any kind of insecurity or any kind of bad thought you have. So I'm really grateful that I was able to just kind of take myself away with either listening to a song or just playing an instrument, just to kind of zone out and take my mind off of insecurities and just the difficult time we were in, really.
Music is an escapism, isn't it? It's got to be there, like what you just touched on. If you are a person who performs or a person who listens, it does actually open some doors as an escapism. A little bit like what we do here, is we talk with people, we go to where it needs to be, and if anybody wants to just come on and talk, that's the thing, isn't it? I don't know your personal situation during lockdown. Were you solely on your own, or if you had other people? Because I know for some people where they were on their own, that was very, very difficult. If there's more people around, then you can talk, but then sometimes that could be a downer as well, couldn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, there are some days that I had where I didn't want to be around people at all, and it just kind of falls back down to the bad thoughts in my head, and just how I was feeling. But I mean, I had my partner around, and she's a massive help, and she tries her best to really support me. And I know it's difficult for her because she can't understand what I'm going through. Because I mean, I guess for anybody who's suffering from mental health, from someone on the outside, it's difficult to know what that person's feeling on the inside. And so it's difficult to know how to support that person, and you don't want to try and support them and sound patronizing. You just want to try and support them and to reassure them that you're there when they want them. And so it's difficult, and it's not one of those things that you can tell someone like, just talk to me, because there are days where you just want to just shut yourself away, and that's okay, and it's okay to want your own space. I know there's tons of things on social media that say do this, do that, but at the end of the day, it's down to you how you feel. It's down to you to find the best way to manage how you feel. And if you need to shut yourself away for like a few minutes and just take a breather, that's fine. It's important just to have that time to just say, yeah, I'm not okay at the moment. I just need a second just to clear my head. I need a second to listen to music or do something to distract myself, and then I'll come back in, or talk to someone if that's what you find is the best way to deal with it. It's however you feel comfortable in dealing with how you're feeling. It's completely about you and how you feel.
I think that is a very, very good advice, really, because as you say, sometimes there's a signpost above my head at the moment. It says music. It doesn't say how I'm feeling. I don't have it tattooed on my forehead. It's me that knows how I'm feeling. It's myself that's got to go and deal with this. And if you can share it with somebody, and then they can help you through it, which will probably give you some ideas for a song. Talking of which, what's on the horizon? What music are you working on at the moment, Jack?
I am working on obviously the new EP, and I was actually last night I was recording some guitar work for a new song on there, which I can say the name because I have mentioned it everywhere. It's called "I'm in Love with My Best Friend," and I love how that one's turned out at the moment. But there is also, I actually had an email through this morning because I contacted a festival regards to, they focus around mental health, and they were looking for speakers or musicians who promote well-being, and I wanted to reach out because I was a few years ago I was working on a song called Never Truly Alone. It was a song dedicated to mental health, and I reached out and I shared the song with them and said I'd love to perform that song, and they contacted me this morning and were asking about having the song on a podcast, or having the song live streamed on a Facebook or shared elsewhere, which is an exciting opportunity to share it with and reach out to the right people who are suffering from mental health. So that's kind of what I'm working on at the moment. I mean, there's new things arising every day. There's just new emails coming through, new messages. So it's literally all hands on deck at the moment, which is brilliant because I'm loving every second of reaching out and doing what I love, which is great.
And I think you're doing a fabulous job on it as well. And it would be nice to think actually if you and a few others have got together created maybe an EP or an album, and that money then went towards something like Mind or whatever. Just giving yourself and your music is one of the best gifts that you could ever give anybody whatsoever. As we near our end of our conversation today, any final thoughts and anything that you want to say, get off your chest and talk to everybody about?
Like regards to me as a musician, my main aim as a musician is spreading positivity. I don't, it's never about money. It's never about, fame, nothing like that. I'm not interested in that side. What I'm interested in is, and what is my motto is, changing the world one song at a time. And I know that might sound cheesy to some, but it is what I focus on, and it is what I try and focus my music on. And as a musician, and that's really my target, to be honest. And people, they can either love me or hate me. I'm a bit like Marmite, and that's the way I've always described myself. But I'm happy where I'm going, and I'm so grateful for all of the support people have shown, and all the wonderful comments people have given me, and just everything everyone has done for me, and everyone who's come to live shows or seen the online performances or liked any posts or shared them. You've helped me out in ways I can't even explain. So I really appreciate everyone's support. So thank you.
Absolutely brilliant. Now, I'm going to have a final thought, actually, and along those sort of lines, because being in the business myself, when you go along and see somebody perform, being an entertainer of various different descriptions, it could be a singer, a duo, a DJ, whatever, just spend a little bit of time and just go over and at the end of it and say, if you feel the case, thank you. Those words, thank you, is probably worth more than the salary that person picked up, because you've actually taken the effort to say thank you. And if you could do that, I'm sure that everybody will be a lot happier. Do you agree with that statement?
Yeah, completely. It does make a performer's day, honestly.
Do we do what we do for the sake of the money, or do we do it for a purpose? The purpose is to entertain. The purpose is to make sure that everybody is having a good time. So if you're venting your anger from something else on the entertainer, naughty, don't do that. But just spend some time to say thank you. Jack, when's the next performance? Where can we catch up with you?
So this Saturday, I will be at the Cedars from 3:00 till 6, and so I'll be there, and the Saturday after as well. So I'll be there live performing. You can catch me there.
Is it outdoors? Is it weather permitting?
Yeah, it's outdoors and it's weather permitting. Unfortunately, the Saturday just gone had to be rearranged, but hopefully the weather this week will be a lot better. If not, I will still be there the Saturday after, and the Saturday, if this one's postponed, I will be there the Saturday after, next Saturday. So it will definitely keep going ahead, don't worry.
I think you're going to need a gazebo if you're not careful, but Jack Lewis, thank you very much indeed, and we will talk to you again very, very shortly. And thank you, everybody, for joining Devon Live Chat on Music Monday.